San Francisco's hummingbirds. Those beautiful tiny birds. You see them fly at breakneck speed from flower to flower, drinking sweet nectar just about everyone in the city. And with so many flowers in the city, they're very happy, or at least you would think. But it wasn't always like that. There was a time when there was a drought, and the hummingbirds were in trouble. Everything was dry. The earth, the trees, the flowers. The sun had been shining for a long time, and there was no rain, and certainly no nectar to drink. One day the hummingbird Max, who was using all his energy to find flowers, told his other hummingbirds that he was going to fly along the coast. But the other hummingbirds scoffed at him. Dimwit, there's nothing there except ice plant, and even its meager flowers are drying up. Won't hurt, said Max. Don't get lost, they mocked. True, the place seemed bleak and a bit scary, and Max was about to fly back when he spotted it. A plant with blue cones looking like they were trying to reach the sky. Max flew closer. Why, the cones were made up of pretty blue flowers, hundreds of them, all piled up forming a beautiful blue spike. And there were at least a dozen spikes coming from this plant. He cautiously flew towards one spike, and when a hefty and steady voice asked, "Well, are you ready to drink?" Max was going to say, "Well, duh," then thought better of it. He asked, "Are you sure?" "That's what I'm here for, little birdie," said the plant. Max wasn't sure he liked the sarcastic tone of this plant, but he was too thirsty to answer back. So Max drank sweet nectar from one tiny flower at the top, and then another, and another, and another, until he was full. He must have gotten nectar from at least a dozen flowers, and looked down to see that he had barely even begun to cover the whole spike. Enough nectar here to feed his whole community, maybe several days. With a dozen such spikes, Mac tried to do the math, but instead he said, "You're amazing." "I know," said the plant, and the wind caught its leaves as if to say, "Hey, Max, settle down. I've never seen you before." "Oh, my seeds arrived here from about 5 moons ago. Where are you from?" "A place where all sorts of birds live. Birds, birds, birds. So many they call the place Canary Islands. They're pretty far away. My seeds hitched a ride on a boat about 10 moons ago." "You're big, and I'm not that old as Echium goes." "Echium? Yep, that's my name. I'm pretty young, but old enough to produce a lot of seeds. Thousands, in fact." Max's brain was reeling, and the math was too much for him. Hundreds of plants and thousands of flowers. "But why aren't your flowers dried up like so many others?" "We save waters for times like these. We're just as scared of drought as you are, but we're a lot smarter." Again with the sarcasm. "Look, I can do without the smart cracks. My family and friends are starving." "Sorry. Can you feed bees and butterflies too?" "Whenever I can, and with a little help, hint, hint, my seeds can go anywhere. Lucky for you and your bee and butterfly friends, they're light. Wind helps too." This plant is a miracle, Max thought, but didn't say it out loud. Maybe their worries were over. So Max told the other birds and the bees and butterflies. They were suspicious at first, but followed Max anyway. Soon Echium was covered in them. "Hey, enough for everybody. Don't crowd, jeez." Max had more than enough nectar and was finally mellowing out to the Echium. "Okay, I'll admit it. You've saved us." "Yeah, I suppose so," said the Echium almost modestly. And so it went. Echium provided nectar, and all the little winged creatures helped to spread the seeds. San Francisco was a happy place again.